Today we're going to be doing a reading for the sign of Sagittarius. This is an energetic reading from the perception of the astrological sign. Please note that everyone has all signs within their chart. If you have questions about these aspects within your life, you can always check in with other star signs if needed. That being said, the premise of this reading is to offer insight and awareness towards remediating this energy that eats MTLC. I'm going to say something in resonance, so I judge something up. That being said, if you resonate with this information, great. If you don't resonate with this information, thank you for your time. That being said, the chakra deck is going to be used for dictating the energies of from the star sign, while the tarot deck is going to be used for additional insights and awareness for this Sagittarian energy that we're going to be finding out more about. Sagittarius, the star sign of Sagittarius. I see. That is what we're going to see. Do you see what I see? Being said, dear universe, please give us a clear channel for your guidance. Please give us a clear channel for your guidance for the sign of Sagittarius. Please give us a clear channel for your guidance for the sign of Sagittarius. Catching a beat on Sagittarius vibes only. Wow. Damn. Do you see it though? Do you see it though? Sagittarius vibes only. Well, just bangers are going off in the distance. Just Sagittarius. Are you seeing or are you thinking? Just Gemini, Sagittarius, Sagittarius, just, yes, release. The sign of Sagittarius. I see. What is like something that we don't know about this creation, something we don't know about this renewal, and something that we don't know about this release. Something that we don't know about this creation. Something about this or something about the foundation of this renewal that we don't know about, and something about this release. So here's the thing, that these cards are not chakra based or thing based. It's a thing. It's like an action. It's creation. It's release. So something about this, something we don't know that's being created. How do we see this creation that we don't know of? Thank you. How do we see this, or how do we understand the foundations of renewal? And how do we release this action? How do we see ourselves, how do we see ourselves releasing this thing that we are seeing or perceiving? How do we release this? Because the minute that we release something, we understand the foundations of what's being renewed, which will help us understand the thing that we are creating. Sign of Sagittarius. I see. If you see it, you see it. And also from the perception of the Sagittarius, the Gemini Sagittarius paradox, how do you think about what you see? Also, if you're trying to see how you create something, what is it that you're creating? How do you see it? Agile. Agile. It's agile for me, but I digress. But how do you create what you see? What's the foundation that's being renewed? What is it that needs to be? Let's get some additional. That's why I said the forest. Let's get some additional insights. For the sign of Sagittarius. Come on, Jimmy. Yep. Additional insights for the sign of Sagittarius. I'll get one more. How do you see the things you see? Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Fear. Fears. Fears. How do you see fears, Sagittarius? Are you creating fears? Don't res fears. Where'd that shit go? Okay. And the Hangman in reverse near release. Are you trying to perceive something? Maybe there's a reason why you might need to let it sit there. Maybe you're just trying to see from a different perception. I digress. Also from the perception of the Hangman. We have Eight of Coins in the Moon, understanding how they're both in reverse. Cards are flipping me out. Literally studying this unconscious aspect of how we see things. Yeah, how do we see this renewal? How do we see this release? How do we see this renewal? How do we see this release? How do we study? How do we physically study the thing that we're creating? Or technically it's underneath this energy. So how do we foundationally study this renewal, and how do we foundationally study this renewal, and how do we let go of the things that we serve that doesn't serve us unconsciously? Let's see, we have let's see, for creation, understand that there's a need for physical balance when it comes to our passions, and how we internalize these things, or how we physically internalize, but also how we physically embody these things from the perception of how we see it. How do we see physical balance? How do we see balance? How do we see reciprocity too? Especially when it comes to our passions and how we internalize this. How do we see this? Sagittarius, how do we see our passions? How do we embody our passions? And how do we balance this passions, creation? How do we see this? The devils are coming out. How do we see this fear? Why would fear be a passion? It's the devil, don't worry about it. Okay. That's why it's fear. How do we see our fears? How do we balance the fear that may or may not be created? How do we physically balance this? Especially when it comes to these things from within us. Also, what do we do with the devils within us? yourself letting that shit go. Beautiful. Please keep in mind, symbolism is meant to understand the energies of the situation. If anyone takes these symbolistic statements literal or negative, don't be surprised if the evil eye shows up. That being said, please realize it's important to experience this information and discern it for yourself. Peace be with you, Namaste. Thank you for your candor. Have a nice